We are going to review ratios, rates, and percentages. So the way this is going to work is there is a packet on each desk, and the packet is going to have each table. The packet's going to have all the problems on them so that whenever you are solving them, you can look on that packet to get the numbers and see all the information. And so you are going to solve these problems on notebook paper. If you have paper in the back of your spiral left over, I want you to use that first. And that's going to go for the whole week. If you are out of paper in the back of your math spiral, you may use notebook paper that is at the front, on the front table by the door. So go ahead and put your name on the top left corner. And the title is Ratios, Rates, and Percentages. The way it's going to work is I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes to solve the problem. It depends on what type of problem it is. And I will have a timer that is going. After the 2 to 3 minutes, I will go over it quickly so that if you don't know how to do it, you'll understand it then. Make sure you number your problems and you show all of your work. So the first problem you are going to do is number 1. And I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to do this problem. Okay, so the problem says that there were 400 total students who were given the survey. And the question says, because remember, you're always supposed to do cubes. The question says, how many more prefer hamburgers than chicken nuggets. So I am only focusing on hamburgers and chicken nuggets. And so because there are percentages, that means I'm going to do a W hashtag percent. So there are a couple options. The first option is that you can do a W hashtag percent for each of these. So you would have 2 of them. The second option is that you could do 1 for both of them. So this is what I mean. The question says, how many more prefer hamburgers than chicken nuggets? Anytime something says how many more of this than that, that means to subtract. So you can either go ahead and subtract the percentages now or wait till the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract them. So I have 46 minus 22. So that means 24% prefers hamburgers over chicken nuggets. That is the percentage I'm going to put in my W hashtag percent. So here's my work. And so I put the 24% here, and that was from when I subtracted hamburgers and chicken nuggets. They said there's a total of 400 students, and when I solved it, I used a scale factor, and I got 96. So there are 96 students who prefer hamburgers over chicken nuggets. Now I want to show you one more thing before we go on to the next problem. I was telling you, you did not have to do 1 W hashtag percent. You could have done 2 of them. So you could have said 46% prefers hamburgers and 22% prefers chicken nuggets. If you solve both of these W hashtag percents, you will see 184 students prefer hamburgers and then 88 students prefer chicken nuggets. Well, the question still said how many more prefers hamburgers than chicken nuggets, so that is why I still can subtract to get 96. So you could have either subtracted at the beginning and do 1 W hashtag percent or do 2 and then subtract at the end. Either way works. It does not matter the one you choose. I am going to give you 3 minutes to solve this problem at your table. Okay, so Rancher Rick buys feed for his animals each week. The table shows how much feed he buys for each group of animals and the total cost. Okay, the question says which feed sells at the highest unit rate. Remember, you always circle and you underline. So they're telling us 12 pounds of chicken food is $8.40 and 50 pounds of pig food is $37.50. So right here in the question it says which one has the highest unit rate. You should remember that unit rate means per one. And on the back of your star chart, we have notes that tell us what to do for unit rate problems. You need to use your star chart on your star test next week. So right here, the first thing you write on the back is that unit rate means per one. The one goes on the bottom. It goes on the bottom of your WKU. So anytime you are given a unit rate problem or a problem that says per one, that's the WKU. Now it says which one has the highest unit rate. So I had to do a WKU for both of them. Okay. Now remember, we always put money on top. K is what do I already know. This one's for chicken. I'm comparing the pounds to the money. I know $8.40 for 12 pounds. It wanted to know for 1 pound. When I solved that, I got 70 cents. That is for the chickens. Then I also did the same thing for pigs. So it says 50 pounds of pig food is $37.50. I need to know how much is 1 pound. I got 75 cents, and that's for pig food. The question says which has the highest unit rate. So 75 cents is bigger than 70 cents. So that means that the pigs have the highest unit rate. Okay, we're going to go on to number 3. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do this problem. Okay, so it says that Thomas got 3 DVDs for $14.51 each. He bought a CD for $9.99, and he got a computer game for $48.48. If sales tax is 8.2%, what is the total cost of his purchases? So because there's a percentage, that means I have to do a W #%. And I do need the total. Remember, on a W #%, it's part to whole. The whole is the total. So I need to add all of these together. When it says 3 DVDs for $14.51 each, that means each of those are $14.51. So you have to do $14.51 times 3, then you can add these. Make sure when you add or subtract decimals, you line the decimals up. Okay, so here is my W #%. So when I added all of those items together, I got $102. And it said that it was 8.2% in sales tax, so I put tax. When I solved this is just all, over here is just all the math that I did. These are my steps. When I solved this W #%, when I solved it, I got $8.36. That goes here. The word that describes it is tax. So then I'm going to go back to the question. The question says, what is the total cost? The question does not ask for the tax. So the items are $102. The tax is $8.36. So then I took those and I added them. I made sure to line up my decimals. And that's how I got the total, $110.36. Okay, so next you are going to solve number 4. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to solve that. Okay, so Mrs. Andrews currently earns $200 per week. She is going to receive a 17% increase in pay beginning next month. We're going to underline the question. How much can she expect to earn on each paycheck next month? Okay, because they gave me a percentage, that means it's a W #%. Some of you may have thought it was the percentage change formula. It's not asking for the percent increase. Remember, those look fors have to be in the question. If in the question it said, what is the percent increase? Then you would have done the percentage change. But it gives me the percentage, so that is a W #%. Okay, so here's my work. So the 17 goes under the percentage, and it says it's a 17% increase. The 200 is how much total money she was making per paycheck. Whenever I solved this, I got $34. That goes where my X is, and the word that describes is increase. So she was making $200 every paycheck. All her paychecks are going to increase by $34. Increase means go up. So then I'm going to go back and read the question. How much can she expect to earn on each paycheck next month? Well, she was making $200. She's going to increase by $34. So you should have gotten $234 for your final answer. Okay, next is number 5. I am going to give you 2 minutes on this problem. Okay, the price of a video game was reduced from $60 to $45. By what percent, and I'm going to underline, what percentage was the price of the video game reduced? So because I see the word percentage, that means I'm either going to do a W #% or the percentage change formula. So remember on your star charts, right here, those are my 2 options. I either do one or the other with percent problems. Now we know that in order to do this formula, you have to have one of these look fors. And so if I was to look in the question, here's the question. What percent was the video game reduced? None of the look fors are actually in the question, but think about what the word reduce means. The word reduce means decrease. So even though they did not percent reduce is not one of the look fors that we're used to, percent reduce means percent decrease. So yes, this is a percentage change formula. Okay, so remember on the top of the fraction you subtract, you put the original on the bottom, you set it equal to x over 100, and then you solve this just like you would any other proportion. There's no scale factor, so I cross multiplied 100 times 15 divided by 60. That's how you should have gotten 25%. Okay, the next problem that you are going to do is number 6. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do this. Okay, the distance from Houston to Corpus Christi is 210 miles. So we know the distance in miles. If the ratio of miles to inches on a map is 2 to 0.25, how many inches represent the distance from Houston to Corpus Christi? A ratio can be written in 3 ways. It can be written as either a fraction, it can be written with colons like this, or it can be written with the word 2 instead. So when I see those colons, 2 and 0.25, that is a fraction. And we use ratios in WKUs. Remember, if you get to the STAR test and you get to a word problem, not like a graph or anything like that, or an equation, but if you get to a word problem and you don't know what to do, it's probably a WKU, as long as there's no percentages in there. So just try it. If you have no idea what to do, try it, because you might get the answer. Okay, so since it says ratio, that is why I'm going to do a WKU. So I am comparing miles to inches. So the K stands for what do I already know? Well, they tell me right here 2 miles is 0.25 inches. So that is what goes in my K. What's unknown, right here they tell us, okay, well, it's 210 miles apart, but how many inches apart? So that's what I'm looking for. And if you do the math, you get 26.25. And I noticed that I don't have any decimal answers here. Hopefully you remember that 0.25 is like a quarter. It's like 1 out of 4 quarters, but there is only one answer choice that says 26 because the decimal goes after the 6. So that is going to be B. Okay, the next problem that you are going to do is number 7. I am going to give you 2 minutes to do number 7. Okay, so a jewelry store paid $75 for a necklace and they are going to sell it for $250. That's how they make their money. I'm going to underline the question. What is the percent markup of the necklace? When deciding what method to use, I see the word percent. So remember, it's either a W hashtag percent or percentage change formula, but it has to have a look for, and it does. If you look right here, it says percent markup. Percent markup is in the question and it's one of the look for. So this is the formula. And I usually box that. Remember, they don't have to put these words together. They could separate them. Okay, so first you subtract them. That goes on the top. So when I subtracted the two numbers, I got 175. They originally paid for they paid $75. And then you just solve it like a normal proportion. So I did 100 times 175 divided by 75. And so I only see one answer that has 233 in it, but 0.3 is 1/3. Okay, we are going to skip 8 and we're going to go down to 9. I am going to give you 3 minutes to do this problem. Okay, so it says Maribel makes bead necklaces. She uses a ratio of 4 to 2 to 3. Here's this word again. Remember, a ratio can be written in 3 ways, either as a fraction, with colons, or with the word 2. If I see the word ratio, or if they give me a ratio, that means I am doing a WKU. Okay. And it says that the ratio is green, brown, and then yellow. So they're telling me the order that it goes in. They say green, brown, and then yellow. So I'm also going to use that same order for these numbers. 4, 2, 3. That means there's 4 green, there's 2 blue, and there's 3 yellow. So let's look at the question. It says, how many green and yellow will she use? So because they separated the green and yellow here, I have to do 2 WKUs. They said how many green, how many yellow. So I'm going to be using the 4 green and the 3 yellow. And so I'm going to have 2 WKUs. And so now I have to decide, what are my words? Well, whenever I do one of the WKUs, let's say I'm doing green. Well, one of my words, of course, is going to be green. But then I have to decide, what is that second word? So right here, they tell me that she used, they want to know how many beads will she use for that has a total of 117? My other word is total. Okay, so when I did it, here's my WKU for green. There are 4 green. The way I got the total was I just added 4 plus 2 plus 3 is 9. So that's 4 out of 9. The question said if there was 117 total, how many green would there be? So I solved it, got 52. So when I was going through my answer choices, I saw that only A and B had 52 green. So then I had to do yellow. So I did yellow. There's 3 out of 9 that are yellow. I solved it, I got 39. So that eliminated B, and that made my answer A. I am just going to talk about number 10 because I'm guessing that we're probably running out of time. And number 10 has some pretty big numbers, so I'm just going to talk to y'all about it. A doctor has an annual income of $152,125. This is his total income. Annual means the whole year. That's how much money he makes the whole year. It says the income tax the doctor has to pay is 6%. If I'm trying to decide what word describes that 6%, it would be the tax. Because remember, we have to pay taxes when we go shopping, but you also pay taxes on the money that you make when you start working. Okay, the question says, what is the amount of income tax in dollars and cents that he will have to pay? So since that's the percentage, that's the W #%. So I put my percent here. The word that described it was tax. If you solve this proportion, you get $9,127.50. And so I still have to make sure that's what they're asking for. This problem was a griddable last year on STAR, which means it was not multiple choice. So you really had to read the question. So the question says, what is the amount of income tax? So if I go back down here, this answer goes here. The word that describes it is tax, and it's asking for tax, which means I did get the right answer, and I do not have an extra step.